Okay, everybody, thank you for coming on. I have a couple of just house cleaning items for everybody. If you're just a participant, if you can please make sure you stay on mute or make sure your microphone's muted. Also, if you're not one of our presenters, we ask you to please just keep your video turned off. That helps us keep the video of the presenters highlighted kind of on the main screen. So just those little house cleaning items. We are going to take questions, but what we found from yesterday's presentation is that literally as questions were being asked, presenters were answering them. So we're going to try this strategy today. We will take questions in the chat box, but maybe we can encourage everybody to wait until we're done with our presentation and then start putting your questions into the chat box. And with that, I am going to hand this over to our president, Sonya Christian.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's good to see over 96 people participating at this point. Yesterday, we had a large group, over 400, that chimed in for the all-campus briefing. Since the all-campus briefing, many of you either emailed me or Billy Joe. There's a lot of conversations about what we meant when we talked about teaching at a distance. We kept using words like Zoom, and typically when we use the language of online instruction, the concept that everyone thinks about is our traditional online instruction within Canvas. And the reality is many faculty are coming up with creative ways to take their classes into a mode that students don't have to come to campus, and using Zoom, using YouTube. So we sent out a call just this morning, I think it may have been like at 9 a.m., to see if we could get a few faculty to share some of their thinking. And we have several who you'll be hearing from today. And we decided to do a 3-part seminar series focused on faculty sharing good ideas with other faculty colleagues. Next slide, please. Just to reiterate, I was, of course, shocked and dismayed, like many of you, when Disneyland shut down too. But I wanted to use this slide to really communicate the significance of what our country is experiencing, the world is experiencing, and what we're experiencing here in California. In my remarks yesterday, I referred to an 8-minute video that Nick Strobel had posted that shows the growth of the curve and then how the curve levels off in terms of how the virus spreads. And we are still in the upswing of the growth pattern, and then at some point it will level off. But during the growth part of that period, we at BC are committed to really think of ways to not disrupt learning and to create alternative learning environments. Next slide. Thank you, Michael, Chris Cruz-Boone, Jennifer Jett, Michelle Hart, Michael, and I don't think Chad is going to be joining us today, and he'll probably join us for part 2, which is seminar number 2, which we will probably have over the weekend. Right now, the team coordinating the logistics for this webinar series are Todd Coston, who you can see, who's our technical director. And you can't see Leslie Bonds, who's putting the content together and the PowerPoint. And Shannon is actually running the PowerPoint. So thank you to the team, and thank you, faculty, for volunteering at such a short notice. Next slide. I'm going to keep this slide as a constant in every presentation that I do, to be able to repeat over and over again that the growth is significant and it is really fast. And this shows you how the numbers have been moving. Next slide. The team at Bakersfield College has been monitoring the dashboard provided by Johns Hopkins University. So as of today, March 13th, Friday the 13th at 9:33 a.m., we have over 137,000 cases worldwide. Next slide. This is another slide that I will be using for the next several times that I do an open forum. And the idea really is to help the entire world by flattening what we call the epidemic curve. So you see here in red, if we were to not take preventative measures, if we were to continue meeting in large gatherings, the coronavirus, COVID-19, would spread rapidly. And that rapid spread would result in a peak demonstrated by the red part of the graph that would exceed the healthcare system's capacity to cope with it. So individuals will not be getting the support that they need if they are critically ill with the virus. Now, most cases, individuals just get over the virus like they do with common cold. But when you look at the blue shaded part of the graph, if we were to take, with our due diligence, we were to look at social distancing, canceling large gatherings, then we could lengthen the time and therefore decrease the peak of the virus and be able to support a healthcare system to take care of those who do get really ill and need treatment. So we're calling it flattening the epidemic curve, and BC contributing it in this work in a very conscientious manner. Next slide. We are moving with wave one of our faculty volunteers. I know just yesterday I received an email that Stephen Waller forwarded to me that the entire biology department is going to be moving online starting on Monday. I was surprised and very happy, and they're coming up with very creative solutions. At this point, we are not in shutdown mode, which I'm hoping we don't have to do. We're hoping that we can minimize the number of students coming on campus and keep a healthy environment while we move campus so that they can learn at a distance. Next slide. The Academic Technology Department has decided to do a weekend open house for all of you, because we realize that this weekend is a weekend that we will probably remember in a long time. I don't know if any of us will ever experience an epidemic like this one. And so most likely in a week's time, our campus is going to be have lesser number of people. It'll be quite desolate. So this particular weekend is when we are promoting, if you need to come onto campus and spend a few hours and get help in moving your materials, we will have several faculty are volunteering. We will have food, and it's going to be in the library, just sort of a fun environment to get your work done. So if you can make adjustments to your plans with your families if possible, Saturday 8 to 2 and Sunday from 1 to 5 in the library. Next slide. I'm actually going to turn it over to our first presenter, because this was a slide where I was going to talk through the concept of an online environment in a real-time Zoom, but I think our presenters probably have better ways of communicating these ideas.